folks will still be fighting the fires out west. They will not get paid. Parks are open, but things like the trash won't get picked up. Fannie and Freddie will be open. The post office will be open. The TSA will be open. But again, all of these people will be working for nothing, which is simply not fair.
And that's the mantra for a lot of federal agencies. This is not going to be a vacation. You'll still need to go to work. Just don't expect to get a paycheck until Congress gets its act together. Jackie Simon is with the American Federation of Government Employees, which represents about 700,000 federal workers.
They live paycheck to paycheck. They're worried about paying their rent. They're worried about making their car payment. They're worrying about paying for child care. We have sent a letter to Congress asking that the Congress do its job of funding the government for the full year, not month to month lurching from crisis to crisis.
Now, it's supposed to be that all non-essential federal employees stay home, the essential employees go to work, but that's not always the case. How many jobs have you had where your job title doesn't actually match up with your duties and how important you are? It happens everywhere, even in the federal government and even at the Centers for Disease Control.
There are a lot of employees whose positions have not been designated as quote-unquote essential, but who do work that is vital to protecting the health of the nation. We have, for example, people who work in public health, preparedness and response, who would still be required to come to work, but who would not be paid.
And in the case of healthcare, agencies like the CDC, the FDA, and the NIH would have about half of their staff furloughed. That means that not as many food inspectors are going to be going out, almost none. Fewer people will be there to monitor outbreaks of diseases like the flu, and no new patients would be able to enroll in potentially life-saving clinical trials.
So what's your gut on this? Do you think they come up with some last-ditch compromised effort?
You're the poker player. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's talking tough, so I don't know.
What's kind of interesting is everyone that's supposed to be working on this, they're not working on it, including Bernie Sanders, because they're all in front of television cameras right now.
The hallway,
it's just political. Everybody's posturing. I think what you're going to see happen is...
But the ramifications aren't political.
No, but I think there'll be a 30-day kick the can down the road, and then in 30 days, I think we'll go through this whole process again. And I think it's just both sides right now. They're trying to see, can we stick it to the president? Because usually in a situation like this, it's the folks that are in power. So in this case, it's the Republicans, it's a Republican president, and the Democrats will be able to come along because they're really thinking about the next election cycle, and they're like, wow, if there is a government shutdown, even if it was just for 30 days, it would be so great because we could stick it to Trump and the Republicans. The Republicans think, and Donald Trump thinks, hey, I'm going to invite Chuck Schumer to the White House, which is what he did today. I imagine they sat in there and they had a filet of fish,
a couple cheeseburgers,
a Mick whatever, and then shared some French fries. And then they came out and they posed for the cameras and they went on their way. I bet they didn't even talk about this today. And then what Donald Trump is trying to do is say, yeah, Chuck Schumer came over the White House. And on Twitter, he's trying to stick it to him and say, well, it's the Schumer shutdown, the Schumer shutdown. They're trying to see which way the wind is going to blow on this and politically who can capitalize. So that's why tonight they'll take it all the way down to the wire. If they take it another 30 days, they're going to do that. Because now you get to sit there politically and just wrench and rank on the other party. And as they're looking down the road at the new election cycle, that's what everyone is hoping for.
It's interesting, though, to see Donald Trump continue to try to shoehorn the wall in there that he insisted Mexico was going to pay for. Now he wants $20 billion for America to pay for it. And then also put the Dreamers in there and also put Chip in there. And then he'll negotiate that and then come out on Twitter and say the opposite thing that just talked about with the Republicans. So if you're a Republican, you're sort of like, okay, we got a unified front on this, and then the president will go out and tweet the exact opposite.
Can you imagine if there's shutdown too? Tomorrow there's going to be a women's march, and I think a lot of women that are in this march, they're not all Republicans and they're not all on the right, but I think a lot of women that started this march, they probably lean to the left and they are on the right. I wonder if this will become a theme tomorrow around the country if we have a government shutdown and women take the street, and we see more women now than ever actually running for office, and we're going to talk about that.
I don't know. I mean, it could be, but honestly, I think women have enough to say without a government shutdown being part of the conversation. Yeah. I don't know that this will come into it. I think there's plenty of other stuff they'd like to voice their opinions about.
Love it. All right, 5:13, check them, don't wreck them. We'll talk about the Women's March next here in Seattle and also around the country. But first, here's Adam McGurky with the Cars, brought to you by the Adam McQueen Casino. Adam, go ahead.
sounding like a bigger and bigger issue for drivers trying to make their way onto northbound I-5 at around Mercer. So the express lanes are blocked, or the entrance to the express lanes at Mercer blocked by a broken down bus. Now it looks like the supervisor on scene is also going to take up partially that ramp from Mercer to northbound I-5, the main line. So Mercer ramps stacking up pretty quick, or at least getting to them. Good luck, Mercer. Mess. Southbound 5 sticks from at least Lake City way to the downtown core, watching northbound I-5 heavy from, I'd say, 45th right up and through Northgate towards 220th. Also still seeing the lineups in through Everett 526 up and through US 2 territory. East side drivers, South 405, lousy Bellevue to Coal Creek, North 405. It's kind of rocky through Kirkland. And again, also 522. By the way, southbound 5 still stings from 18 right on down through Fife, and then towards Puyallup River Bridge. And the difficulties continue right on River Road at Gratzer. Both directions are blocked off because of a nasty wreck. That's got things backing up pretty significant in both directions. 97.3 Cairo Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Adam Gerke.
Ron and Don's Top 5 Bet 5.
Number 2.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Tomorrow morning, according to the Seattle Times, Saturday's Woman March is predicted to attract thousands of politically engaged people to Capitol Hill and also through downtown Seattle. And they say there might be some bedlam when it comes to traffic. We saw that last year with over 100,000 people taking the streets. And let's not forget, these just weren't women. These were men. These were husbands. These were friends. These were dads. These were children. It was mostly a silent march. Well, this year it's going to be a little different. And here to talk about it, Allie Lee joins us right now, one of the organizers. Allie, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about the Seattle's Woman March tomorrow. Where is this march going to start? Where's it going to end? And why is it not silent this year? What do you guys hope to accomplish?
We are going to start at Cal Anderson Park at 10 a.m. Everybody's welcome to come and join us. We will have a short rally starting thereafter, led by the Indigenous women. It's called MMIW. Then we'll do a short ceremony. Then we'll lead into our speakers, and 11:30 sharp, we're going to be stepping off and heading down towards Seattle Center, past Westlake.
Yeah.
And it's not silent this year, which is different because we really want people to have a chance to express themselves. And we have the Indigenous drummers that'll be leading us. We have then the Rise Up Band that'll be part of it, the puppets from the last year, and amazing poets as well. So it's a little bit different as far as bringing people together, really feeling community, and then heading back to their own communities or communities that they would like to support as well. Ones that we're really highlighting this year are the immigrant marginalized communities that have been boots on the ground all year long and been battling things, and we really want to support them and let people know that we want 2018 to then move forward.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I have a person that's really important to me who is a police officer, and she was down in the streets last year providing security. And we had talked about how amazing it was to see all these women and men and children take to the streets. And then she talked about Teddy Kennedy, that speech in 1910 about entering the arena. And she said, you know what? She said, I hope a lot of these women do what I did 15, 16 years ago when I decided to become a police officer in what is really a male-dominated profession. And it's not always easy. And now she has men that work for her. She said, you know what I hope? Is I hope they get action like Teddy Roosevelt talked about. I hope that they enter the arena like he talked about. As you look back over the last year, have you seen a lot more women, not just around the country, but specifically here in Seattle? Do you see more women entering the arena like she talked about?
Oh my goodness, yes. Just all the women who have stepped up to then run for office. The number of women that we have in office right now, our police chief is a woman, our mayor is a woman, and moving forward, a lot of our senators, city council, more women than we've ever had before. And I think it's just really, again, standing shoulder to shoulder with other people and massive amounts of people gives you that energy to then kind of, take you forward.
All right, she's Allie Lee. She's one of the organizers for the Women's March 2.0. It's going to happen tomorrow in Seattle. I was just going to ask you about emotion, Allie, because anger and outrage are good sources of fuel. I think that was in the air 1 year ago, but they're hard to sustain. What's the tone and tenor this year?
You know, I've seen a lot of people that are nervous, but yet they're being positive, thinking forward. And I think that's because there are whole families that are coming, including children. So with that, having children there for sure keeps the sort of that anger emotion a little bit lower than what it would be. And it also then makes us focus on the future, because that's what children are. And that's why we're doing what we do. The ERA ratification is making sure that our rights are then protected and that we can continue to vote. And I think, emotions will be there. It's that apprehension, but hopefulness that comes out in all of us.
How do you want men to support? There's probably a lot of men that are like, I want to be supportive, I don't know how.
I think just showing up, making sure that you show up and that you participate, that you are there. And again, standing shoulder to shoulder makes a huge difference. And I think them being there shows that they are participating and that they understand the issues that we face every day. May it be equity, may it be, anything that we have to do, our domestic workers and their new Bill of Rights that's coming up. All of these different things that we need to move forward with. If they're standing with us, we know that they're there and that we appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Allie Lee, thanks for that. Kim Shepard now live from the newsroom, because there's another issue that's come up with the...
Another issue that's coming up, coming down? No. So there's going to be a whole lot of ladies downtown. And what do you always see outside of a ladies' room? A long, long line.
Oh, okay.
And apparently they're concerned that there's not enough available facilities for everyone who wants to attend the event. So they have put out a plea for donations so they can get some more porta potties out there. Now, it's kind of last minute.
Delivered by tomorrow?
I'm thinking maybe at this point they're hoping that like a porta potty company or someone will hear their plea and just bring some on down. But at this point, if you're planning to head out to the march and the rally tomorrow, just be prepared. Take care of your business before you head out there so you can not stand in a line for too long.
I can't. That's impossible for me. That's like a 6-hour thing.
Or you could, stock up on supplies. There are items you could wear.
I'm not blaming it on you. That's the most horrible advice, though.
Are you telling people to wear a diaper to the women's march?
Hey, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm offering some possibilities.
You have to find parking and be at Cal Anderson Park by 10 a.m.
Oh, no, nobody's finding parking. Nobody's finding parking.
So
take a bus,
so you're
take
leaving
something.
At 9.
Yeah.
We'll get there at 10.
All the bus routes are in the...
the march isn't going to be over till like 3 or 4. That's an all-day proposition.
Especially if you drink a cup of coffee on the way there, forget it.
I would hope some businesses who are listening may be more kind as to their policies of letting people who aren't necessarily, customers come in and use their bathroom.
I sometimes have bathroom insecurity at events like this. I'm not. It's tough.
What's bathroom insecurity?
Bathroom insecurity is a mental disorder where you're like, oh my gosh, what if I have to go to the bathroom? And you kind of start to panic.
Even if you don't have to go?
It starts before you have to go.
What about if you go? Then are you fine? Or does the security build up? Insecurity build up?
See, you have a little more security, but then if you're in a place where they say there's going to be no bathrooms, people with bathroom insecurity,
you know what? If somebody was
it gets in your head.
I do that with kids too.
Game.
Yeah, all right. I'm not sure the diaper that NASA wears, the astronauts, but if somebody was smart, they would go out to the march tomorrow and they would set up a little stand and they would sell astronaut diapers on the sidewalk.
Either that or you could just stock up on Gatorade so you can hydrate and unhydrate.
Kim!
The same container, no?
Yeah. It's hard when the family's not in all the same rhythm, and then because I'll always tell my son, I'm like, I gotta go, you gotta go. Nope, don't have to go. And then 10 minutes later, because we did this for the New Year's this year, and for Christmas Eve, we went down there for the tree lighting, and he just stood there with his arms full. He's like, nope, don't have to go. And then he demonstrated that he didn't have to go. With his arms, yes, and so he demonstrated and then he's 10 minutes later had to go.
We're planning a 3-week road trip this summer, and we might rent an RV just so that we don't have to make as many potty stops.
No, you love potty humor, though. Like, you love this stuff.
I am a 14-year-old boy at heart. I think I've told you this. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate.
Like, this is your favorite story of the day.
Oh, I love fart jokes. Bring them on.
There's no way.
If you would like to help the community, you can find that link to donate to the porta potties.
You can't donate money at 5:22 on a Friday and have porta potties delivered on Saturday at 9 a.m.
Do you want to make Kim happy before the news? She'll be monitoring 98973, so send her your best fart
Yes,
joke.
your best fart jokes. My sons will love me when I get home. I'm not kidding.
Guys.
It's a Friday.
Andy's going to have to read them. She's rolling her eyes.
All right, Kim, thanks for that. Coming up the bottom of the hour, Kim is back, and she has all your headlines right after that. Take a guess here at 98973. We have somebody on our staff that you know very well and that you hear on the radio often. And I found out last night for the first time that they are the lead singer in a punk band.
Is it Dave Ross?
And they've never talked about it here on Cairo until the Ron and Don Show in the next 10 minutes. Who do you think the lead singer is? And you hear him most days or her most days here on Cairo Radio. I think it's going to surprise you. 98973, we need your guesses. It's Ron and Don in Cairo. Why wouldn't we be here on a Friday for you?
Series is portrayed one way. At the very end, you find out the true nature of his character. And both, I think, are excellent portrayals of what it is to be a man. And beyond that, what it is to be a good and decent person. What it is to be a true friend, what it is to exhibit courage, and what it is to act on that courage.
Yeah, and I think it presents both sides of fatherhood too, and it presents a continuum. And Hollywood's very good at cliches. One of the things that a listener put up I thought was very funny was, never let this discussion distract you from the fact that Al Bundy scored 6 touchdowns in this game in his whole high school, and including against his.
He's not a bad father.
Well,
really, in that show, he's really. I've been rewatching a lot of it lately. They throw a lot at him. Like, his kids are always into trouble. Katie Segal is so fantastic as the doting wife.
Oh, doting, yes.
And he really tolerates a lot, and he keeps the Bundy ship moving forward.
in the way that it's moving, at least it doesn't crash. So I'm fascinated with manhood as fatherhood. And so I'd mentioned the role of the father in the movie The Road. Of course, Cormac McCarthy, that one moment he is taking a life because he has to take a life to defend his son. It's dysphoria in the extreme. The next moment he's cuddling his boy, he's reading to his boy, they're trying to play, he's trying to bring him kindness in a world that doesn't have any. So that appealed to me. The Clint Eastwood character appealed to me because here's a grumpy man, seemingly, wants his yard the same, has no problem kicking the kids off his yard. He's of a different era, so he's not PC. He uses some phrases for people, racial phrases he shouldn't. But deep in him is a man of justice and a man who will not abide the weak being taken advantage of by the strong or the evil. Like that, he plays a pseudo-father. So I'm always fascinated with that dichotomy of father as fierce lion and then father as playful cub. And I'll tell you what came up on the Facebook page, and a lot of people jumped in. It started as a movie, and then was a TV show was Little House on the Prairie, and Charles Ingalls. Do you remember that show?
No, my wife's obsessed with it. I've never watched it. She's described some of the episodes, and I always thought it was just kind of some kids out in the woods having fun. It's really dark.
No, there's darkness to it. There is challenge to it. It gets really bad after about season 4.
Is that the Michael Landon character?
Michael Landon character.
Yeah.
And it's based on a real guy and a real series of books. I should say not real, but autobiographical books in effect. But that's another guy who, I broke my ribs, I still have to feed the family. He's a guy who lives by his word, and he has fear, but he rises above it, and it's all for the family. But he's also foibles, and he is into this weird, business venture or that weird venture, and that was sort of a true aspect of his character. So I think that speaks to manhood too, is the ability to overcome, huge mistakes.
Yeah, What do you think of Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird?
It came up probably 15 times on my Facebook page.
Have you read Ghost Set of Watchmen?
No, I'm not.
You have not?
No.
It's interesting what Harper Lee decided to do with that character. Because Atticus Finch was just a shining example of all that is good and all that is noble and all that is brave in the form of a lawyer, which is kind of rare.
Right.
And then in the sequel, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, she really does a complete 180 on the character of Atticus Finch. It's pretty fascinating. Yeah, it's disappointing to think that that's how he ended up. But growing up, Atticus Finch was, very few novels had a character that defined good the way that he did. And good, I suppose, in a masculine way, because there, really were no female lawyers at the time.
Right. And I have to to confess, I found the book dreadfully boring and the movie impossibly more boring. I get the moral point of it, and
How do you not like that when you like It's a Wonderful Life?
I don't know. I mean, I guess taste. I don't know. I mean, I can look at the movie and on paper I can say this is good, and I can look at the book and go, this is designed well. But I know some things don't key with you, I guess. That one didn't for me. I'll tell you the other thing that, another role, and this was, people talk so much about the Duke. You remember the True Grit movie?
I know the Jeff Bridges version.
Okay, so the Jeff Bridges version is very faithful to the John Wayne version.
I've never seen a John Wayne movie.
No, what?
No. I know.
Folks, you heard it here right now.
It disappoints so many people.
Zach Burns has never seen a John Wayne movie.
All I see him now is as a caricature, because everyone does a John Wayne. Everyone does a John Wayne impression, and I don't think I could take him seriously in any film now. It's kind of the way I look at Christopher Walken in films now. I can't really take him seriously playing any role because I've seen him lampooned so often.
He, I think, enjoys killing people. He doesn't have any problem with it. It's a lot easier to bring in a dead man than a live man. And after all, he's killing scumbags as he sees it. But he's a drunkard, falling over drunk, fighting, living in the back of a butcher's shop. And late in life, this fatherly instinct finds him. And with that, the girl that he's caring for and trying to track down the people who killed his father, her father, the fact that instinct comes out late in life. Is that instinct in everybody? I know you don't have, I don't know, do you have the fatherly instinct?
I do. I don't know how to define it, but I feel, it's weird, I feel paternalistic not only about, my nieces and nephews and everything, but there's friendships that I have and people that I associate with that I feel really protective of in a fatherly way. There's a couple of people that work here, and if you mess with them, you're messing with me. Yeah.
Do you think you can be experience full manhood without being a father?
I think you can experience full manhood if you decide that what you're doing is masculine. The thing that really bothers me is when people all admit to liking something that is quote unquote feminine. People like, oh, time to hand in your man card. Shut up. I mean, if you're comfortable in yourself, that's masculine.
What? Give me an example of something feminine.
I watched this show called Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, well, let's say now you need to turn in your man card. That's very clear.
Well, what if I watch it in my man cave? Do they one offset the other?
No, right then, you know what? At that point, you're a trans man. You're transsexual. You're transcending manhood.
The least masculine thing you can do is to have a man cave. It's embarrassing.
No, I think the least masculine thing you can do is to pretend masculinity, is to be overly...
That's having a man cave.
Well, there's a lot of people who have man caves who are probably plenty happy in who they are.
Wearing a jersey of some other man. You're an embarrassment.
Right now, what's going on? Zach is trolling for your tweets. He loves to get the
I truly feel this way. I would never go to someone else's man cave.
All right, well, you're not foolish. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to Don O'Neill's house. You're not going to
I'll go to his house. I'm not going in his man cave.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, I'm going to arrange...
There you go. Put on your Averill jersey and let's go down to the man cave and grunt.
Well, I want you to know the new VP of broadcasting here has a man cave. So Pride Bar! We're coming up. We're going to tell you, Zach, welcome in. What's coming up on the big show on the Zach Burns extravaganza in Variety Show tonight?
Well, tonight we're obviously going to get into the government shutdown. Hope it happens. It's so exciting, isn't it? It's like Christmas Eve.
I'm panicked. I don't know what the hell I will do without the
All
government.
I was going to do was go to national parks tomorrow. So hopefully I still can.
I don't think they're going to shut down. I think he is not. I don't think he's going to shut him down. I think that was weaponizing it. So that's going to be on the show 7 to 10 p.m. on Car Radio over 97.3 on the FM dial. Zach has me on his show. I have him on mine, and we always try to find a little common ground. I think we found a little bit today, right? I don't think we agreed on characters, but I think
we both agreed that Harry Potter is the greatest wizard of all time.
As wizards go, being that they don't exist, I will go with you on that. Thanks very much for coming in.
Besides Michael Jordan.
Yes. Todd Herman Show will continue. We'll go out and check traffic with Right Way Traffic.
Big backups continue in Tacoma. It's a serious crash affecting both directions of 167 just after Gratzer Road East. Just avoid the area for a little bit if you can. Heading out towards Bellevue 405 southbound, very crowded out there from Northeast 8th Street to about 30th Street. Well, this traffic report brought to you by Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. Now get up to $120 off select HP Office Jet Pro printers. Ends 120. Restrictions may apply. See staples.com for details. You're listening to AM 770 KTTH.
Every weekday morning at 7:30, we do something called The Big Local.
It's the all-new Jason Ranch Show.
It's nothing.
But at Gratzer, sounds like the roadway has now reopened in both directions, which is great news, although you are pretty stacked up in both directions getting through the area. South 5 continues heavy from 18 right on down through Fife and towards the Puyallup River Road. And I've seen the lineups continue also for drivers further south as you try and make your way on I-5 in through kind of the Olympia area, reaching in towards 101, just a little bit backing in through Lacey. I want to point out that delays extend for drivers into Everett still from at least 526 up through US 2. Getting in and out of downtown Seattle, I-5 continues to be a chore. East side is your usual backups. This check on traffic comes from the Rock and Roll Marathon. And the Rock and Roll Marathon is gearing up for 2018. You don't want to miss the best-in-class running experience where piles of music motivate you. And bands and fans line the course. Register now. RunRockandRoll.com. Cairo Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Adam Gerke.
An area of lowland rain will be passing through during the overnight hours into early on Saturday morning before we have some drying through the day. Low temperatures will be in the low 40s in Seattle, highs in the upper 40s. I'm Cairo 7 pinpoint meteorologist Morgan Paul.
47 outside the Carter Subaru studios now. I'm Kim Shepard.
Ron and Don's Top 5 at 5.
Number 3.
I believe I can fly.
You giving out the code word yet?
Code word tonight, Ron, is March. Yeah, Women's March. No, just month of March. Just the word March. In honor of the Women's March tomorrow, head to our show page at mynorthwest.com/5. Fill out the word March. Be entered to win tonight's great contest. We'll see if we can get you to Blue Oyster Cult, and that's coming up. Speaking of March 10th. At Ticketmaster.com.
Over the years, we've been hard on airlines when they do dumb things. And we go after airlines when they do dumb things.
Yeah, and customers, sometimes you got to go after them because right now, according to Delta, people have been trying to fly comfort turkeys, comfort possums, comfort snakes, comfort spiders, comfort dogs, comfort cats, comfort ducks. And at some point, you got to draw the line in the sand somewhere. And it looks like, and I think a lot of this comes from the fact that we've had a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. There's a lot of men and women that have come back. And service animals have been super helpful for their PTSD, or somebody that has had a medical issue, somebody that has epilepsy, somebody that has diabetes, someone that has cancer. Dogs can smell cancer. So they're really, these service animals, and as we found out, because a number of years ago we got a little girl who was 8 years old, a service animal, and the first one was rejected, the second one took. There's so much training, though. It's $25,000 that we had to raise.
Yeah, but that's not legitimate service dog.
That's my point.
Some of these people are just slapping a vest on their duck and trying to bring them on Delta.
That's my point. There's 250,000 people a year on Delta alone that are trying to get on board with a service dog, cat, or duck. And a lot of these animals are bogus. And that's one of the reasons that Delta has stepped in now and they said, hey, and the other airlines are looking at this too. And I've even seen this at some of the grocery stores I go to. Like when you walk into a Whole Foods or you walk into up on Queen Anne, we have a number of grocery stores up there that now have signs that say, hey, you know what? Service animals are allowed. Other kind of animals aren't allowed in our store.
So they're saying that they now you have to show proof of health and vaccinations 48 hours in advance and some other requirements
training.
As well.
You have to show that you have to show whatever the service animal is that
correct.
They have had specified training. One of the reasons is there was a guy who was just sitting in coach. A 70-pound service animal gets on, sits next to him, starts mauling him. He can't get out because he's up against the window. And he ends up getting 28 stitches in his face. They say
28 stitches.
28
wow.
stitches. They say attacks by service animals.
Because they're sticking this out of tube, and they don't know what is going on.
On Delta flights has gone up 84%, and it's one of the reasons I said, hey, look, if you have a real service animal and they're not aggressive, according to federal law, we have to invite them into the cabin. But otherwise, they're a piece of cargo, or they're not coming over.
Well, and the other thing that happens is a dog who's potty trained goes and he stands by the door because you're supposed to open the door when he gives you the signal. Like, that's what's happened his whole life.
Right.
I go stand by the door, you open the door, yeah. I go do my thing, I come back in, you shut the door. And then he goes and stands by the door. Nobody's opening the door. Nobody opens the door, and then he can't take it anymore, and you know what happens next, except you're inside a plane with all the air being circulated, and now what, a flight attendant's supposed to take care of this?
What's your reaction when you walk into a restaurant or you walk into a store, and you know that the person that is just walking their dog inside the store
I'm very angry.
Or a restaurant, and you know that that's not a service animal, that's just them not wanting to tie their dog up outside.
I'm angry unless it's a known in advance. Like there are some bars or some places where it's like, this is a dog bar and we're going to hang out with our dogs. Then you can't complain. If you're going to a place that's a known dog establishment, then that's fine. But when you're just like at Trader Joe's and some person's bringing their dog through the store, I think it's terrible. It really makes me angry. I want to say something, but when they have their mail order vest on, you don't know if it's real or not. I have never heard of a service snake, though. That seems like it should not be a friend.
But if you go into a place like in Ballard called the Barking Dog, and there's actually a dog on the sign, and it talks about dogs being welcome, and at the same time it says, hey, be careful because we're really not supposed to have dogs in bars, and so if we start breaking rules here as a result of that, we can get some real trouble. You go into a place like the Barking Dog, and all those animals in there, typically their owners have them under control. It's when and you can always walk them outside, right? It's hard when you get on a plane, you're at 30,000 feet. To your point, it's not like you can walk the dog outside. Yeah.
Ron and Don's Top 5 Fact 5.
Number 4.
All right, 98973, what's your guess? Who do you think is on the radio almost every day? And unbeknownst to me, I found out yesterday that he's actually the lead singer, or she's the lead singer in a punk band. Candy, do we have some text messages? What are the guesses tonight in the Ron and Don Nation?
Well, the group of Cairo staff that is leading up with one vote apiece goes with Ron, Sean, Ursula, and Kim. A lot of people think that they know exactly who it is.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. And all of them are wrong.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Who do people say they know exactly who it is? No one guessed that it was me, huh?
Nope, no one guessed it was you.
I could see Sean doing that. Ron is actually a very good singer.
I don't get punk music, though.
You don't get it?
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
No, he's really good. When our band gets together, which is usually once a decade, Country Evil, we're a little country. At the same time, we like to be evil. Because evil... It used to be when we chased a lot of girls, evil bands get girls. They in country bands. In country, so if you put country and evil next to
it's a showstopper.
it doesn't get any better than that.
The logic.
Yeah. Also, you get to wear cowboy hats and sunglasses indoors, and you get to wear a cape. What happened to your country?
I still have the cape.
You have the cape. All right. Anyway. All right. Can I get a timpani? Because this is kind of exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands. It's a little early. Is it called the Toros? Lead singer of the Toros and give me a little more time. Lead singer of the Toros, and his dad played hockey 25 years ago. And he is our highly rated night man here at Cairo. Put your hands together for Zach Bird!
That's overwhelming. Although that sound is very familiar. Having played several times with the Toros, that's the most common sounding reception.
We're gonna play.
This is a world premiere on FM radio?
Yeah, tell us about the track we're gonna play.
Okay.
And then how did you get into I listened to you today. I'm like, wow. I listened to all 7 tracks. I'm like, this band's pretty damn good.
Well, I've always been into punk music, and Ron,
In this situation again, have you thought about if you had to manage your life the way we let politicians get away with managing our money? Imagine this. Imagine that every year in January, you had to sit down and borrow $4 out of $10 you were going to spend every year. So think of your mortgage. Let's say your mortgage is $1,000 per month. It's cheap in this area, right? Let's say that you know you can't pay your mortgage unless you can con other people into paying $400 a month for it. And let's compare this in your life, that you are at that point, you're about $20 million in debt, but you owe family members you promised things to, like college and healthcare. You owe them $200 million. That's where this country has gotten to. And it's not gotten there through lack of revenues. It's gotten there because people are absolute, blank, naked cowards and opportunists, afraid to engage in any level of right-sizing spending, because it is much easier to force an unborn child to pay your damn debts. This is gonna have to be addressed in a real budget, and I hope that Vic Mulvaney will run that process. Well, wrap the week up with a personal note. Right now, we'll check traffic with Right Way Traffic, brought to you by the Online Trading Academy.
The headaches continue out there in Tacoma. Now, both directions of 167 are affected after Gratzer Road East, so it's a problem blocking both northbound lanes and the southbound left lane, too. Just an area still to avoid for a little bit if you can. Got a crash in Olympia, southbound I-5 right after Henderson Boulevard. Now, it's on the shoulder, which is great news. Still going to slow you down as you approach there as well. Plenty of brake lights, 405 southbound as you leave Bellevue from Northeast 4th Street, very heavy to 44th. You're listening to AM 770 KTTH.
Attention Bellevue, Everett, Issaquah, and all of our East Side listeners. We know you don't always get a strong signal from AM 770 KTTH, especially at night. We invite you to try listening on 94.5 FM. It's AM 770 KTTH on the FM dial, and another way to listen to the conservative voices and opinions you want. AM 770 KTTH and 94.5 FM, Seattle's conservative talk radio.
I get a super cute email from Leslie, who listens to the program. Her little boy is named Neil, and he is curious if Polar Bear Energy Solutions actually has polar bears go put on roofing.
Zach, don't be offended by this, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Can I use that as a blurb? Sure, I'll take it.
Hey, Sean, you like this genre, I think. I don't know what genre you like.
I like many genres, but yeah, I'm with Ron. This is spectacular. I really like the lyrics. I'm straight, but what is that? I'm straight, but I really love cheerleading.
I'm straight, but I love cheerleading.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Well, we were trying to strike down the stereotype that only gay boys can cheerlead. Not the gays.
There you go. I dig it, man.
All right, let's take it to traffic. Zach Burns up tonight, 7 o'clock. And where can they get some of your music if they want to check it out?
Well, if you want to visit Cairo Radio here in Eastlake, I have a stack of CDs sitting on my desk.
$5 a piece. I got one. I'm keeping it, though. Zach, great job. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you.
Wasn't that good?
It's way, like I said, it's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Did he have an English accent?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to one track, and then I listened to all 7 tracks today. He has one. His dad was a hockey player. It's just my dad was a hockey player. 25.
You want to hear a little bit of that?
25 years. Yeah, hit it real quick. My dad.
They really put the vocals back in the mix.
Who needs them? It's great. My dad's a hockey player, which he was. I love truthful lyrics. Let's check the cars now with Adam Gerke. This traffic report this hour is brought to you by our great friends at Subaru Fuel. Adam, go ahead.
All right, so westbound, southbound 5, going to have that hang-up from 18 continue into Fife, all the way down towards the Puyallup River Bridge. And the lineups continue through Bellevue, southbound 405, right on down to Coal Creek and Kennydale. We've blocked up either direction of I-5 between the 520 Bridge and up towards about Northgate, North 5 moving into Everett. This continues to also be pretty scummy from 526 up through US 2, then into 528, 529 territory and through Marysville. So you got your work cut out for you on northbound I-5 as everyone tries to make the getaway once again. Iowa Radio, real-time traffic. Adam Gerke.
Hey, it's a run-in for Bellevue Rare Coins. You know, you might have some stuff